Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, episode 1. And it's totally not going to be a daily podcast, Chris, but we thought we'd crack on with the debut episode. Oh my word, we're back. What did you reckon to that?
Dave, why the fuck are we back? Why are we back? That's the problem.
This is only day 1 as well.
I think what was interesting is it was it's on for an hour and a half. It's too long for me. And I didn't like the new format. I'll be honest, Dave, the way they selected the couples. I don't know what you thought about that, but I wasn't pleased with that.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. So I didn't like it at all. I hope this is an experiment and they just stick it in the bin for the next time. Part of the whole, I don't like episode 1s, but part of the whole charm of it, or the enjoyment, the sadistic enjoyment maybe, is, when you get Bertie Big Bollocks walking out there thinking he's God's gift to the ladies, and then no one steps out for him. Or you get someone and then they choose someone who's already coupled up. This is part of the fun. And I don't know what the thinking is. I mean, they didn't advertise it particularly well. I only found out yesterday there was this whole vote, and I saw a few people comment on Twitter and say, what? There's a vote? When did that happen? It fell flat for me massively.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the only thing was quite funny was when, I think it was Dammy. Dammy was fuming because he got with Amber, and he was like, and Laura's like, so what you think? You happy? Yeah. And it was like, yeah, not happy. I did
not
like...
as unhappy as India.
Oh, fucking hell. I know she was not having any of it with Keena, Dave, at all. But what I would say is, I felt that the new format was a subtle way of not offending people by, the public picking them. Usually you get that little bit of a rejection, don't you? You always get the guy who's dead cocky, cocksure of himself. Oh, yeah, the women love me, blah, blah, blah. Next minute he's on the subs bench. I just felt it was too I don't know what they were going for. And I felt that even though we say I wanted to change it, and in the preview I said I wanted to change some of the format of the show, this wasn't the bit I wanted changing, if I'm being honest, Dave. I felt this was a bit flat and it didn't work. And how many times did Laura have to keep repeating the contestants? I know we've got to get used to them and everything, but it was like every time someone come in, it's like, right, so, and then by the time it got to Paige, I was like, I don't need to know that Dammy is with Amber and India's with... I mean, it did its job of telling you who the contestants are, but it just didn't work. And it felt like this hour and a half was at least half an hour too long, Dave. It could have been an hour condensed. Bring everyone out, boys and girls. If you're going to do this format, bring everyone out so you face each other. Then say, right, you're with him, whatever. And then that would have worked better then. I think that may have engaged me a bit more, but this was just fucking boring, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because the only thing that makes that tolerable when they walk out is that uncomfortableness, isn't it? It's just, and the fact that we know that it's a done deal, doesn't matter. No one has to awkwardly step forward or not step forward. It did feel really, really drawn out for me, that bit.
Yeah, it did. Like I say, there was a couple of little things. India... I thought some of her reactions was a bit off the mark there, Dave. I didn't think Kiddy did anything wrong. She wasn't having any of it. And she's like, I don't think he's even with me. I think he's just there for the show. And I'm like, have you never watched Love Island? Every fucking contestant's here for themselves. If you think you're going to find love, you are fucking...
He's here for Instagram followers. I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's using me. Look, if you don't think that they're not there for that fucking career afterwards, you are on the wrong show. It's like getting the lottery ticket, the chances of actually having a proper relationship at the end of this day. So it was like she'd never seen the show. And I must admit, I was pissing myself because I was thinking, oh no, this is not going to go well for her. But it did engage me enough to think, oh, this could be a little bit of drama that we need, Dave. It's not as slick as it usually is, but we'll see. I mean, anything else stand out for you, Dave?
Well, I think speaking of people who, have a face like a slapped arse and come across quite badly, I didn't think it was possible for, an offspring to be so much like their parent, right? Now, Michael Owen is one of the finest strikers that England has seen, as far as I'm concerned. I still maintain, watching him live action, he gave some of the most complete forward performances I've ever seen. But as a commentator and all-round person, fuck me, he's boring, right? and just he says things that just rub people up the wrong way as well. Gemma is a chip off the old block.
Yes.
Like, I can see her mouth moving, but I hear her dad. And it's very distracting, like the accents and everything, that kind of Chester accent. And I've been a bit surprised at just how similar to her dad she is. But yeah, I thought she come across quite badly, to be honest. And that whole thing where she was taking the piss out of that guy whose surname was Bish, cocky guy with the tattoos.
Yeah, Luca Bish.
That's it.
Yeah.
Luca Bish, who sells fish. All right. It is a little bit funny, but when, she's just sort of taking the piss out of him in that fucking Michael Owen style, just not actually being funny. I just thought, I don't think people are going to like that.
No, and you know what, Dave? I'm with you because she's the youngest of all the contestants. She came in. And unfortunately, she's a great, she's a bloody national horse rider, isn't she? In that, she's got a great career behind her already. I know her dad's into horses. He's got stables, everything. And it was before that when she was talking about, oh, yeah, we've got 12 horses at home. She was talking to Liam, I think it was. We have 12 horses at my house and we have this and we have that. And we've got this something greyhound. And he starts laughing. He goes, is it a big one? And she starts laughing like he should know. And I'm like, oh, no. And then when she did that about his name, and she went, nah, not feeling it. I was like, oh, dear, you are not reading you're not going to come across very well. She came across as that sort of, how you would think, spoiled child, I think, Dave. That sort of like, I just didn't get it. And it was like her dad's sense of humor, because Michael Owen will say stuff and you sort of like, is that a joke? Is that, I don't get it. It's quite offensive. Is it? I don't think he's like all he means to be offensive. But I mean, I remember watching when he played for United, and there was a documentary he did on MUTV, and all his jokes just didn't land at all. Dave, he was telling jokes like Rio was there, Rooney, and that, and obviously he was sort of like on the subs bench, and he did contribute. We won the league with him, but it was sort of like nothing worked for him, and he was almost like that awkward uncle in the corner cracking jokes. Everyone's like, "All right, you just shut up and stay in the corner." But so I don't know what a game was, but I just didn't think. I was like you. I thought, oh, this is not a good showing for you, Gemma, at all. And as it went on, the more she spoke, I was like, oh, her immaturity, even though some of the girls are only a couple of years older than her, she seemed very immature, Dave. And I don't know whether that's her upbringing because she's been quite shielded. I don't know. But I did think straight away she might be one of the first ones to get booted off.
Maybe. I mean, she's got zero self-awareness at all, has she? I mean, she describes herself as fun, flirty, and fiery. I mean, come on. Fun and flirty? What? No chance. So, I don't know. I think they'll try and keep her in because of her dad. It's got... people talking, the fact that he is this famous footballer, you can see, like, she's trying to be coy about it. She's trying not to name drop it, but, you can see she's like, I do actually want to say it. When you've got, is it Liam, the guy she's paired up with?
Yeah.
Is it Liam? And he's going on about football, and she's like, did he play to a high standard? Or, he's sort of smelling out that there's something there. Like, what? That's a really strange question for you to be asking me. Like, you should just glaze over. I'm sure that's the response he's used to. Glaze over and not be asked. All right, you do something with football. Yeah, whatever. So at some point, it has to come out. And she even said what a second name was, but no one's twigged at all. I mean, I'm trying to think. Owen probably gave up when these kids were still running around in their paddling pool in the garden. So, just if there's anything there to make you feel old, it's that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So yeah, I think she'll stay around. But in terms of Love Island, boring as hell. I think she's going to be.
Yeah, I think so. And it still makes me laugh, Dave, as well, with Laura comes on. And I know I'm not going to say I got slated last time for about a personality and that, but it's a delivery. I said in the preview, I hope that she's better as a she has a bit more freedom. I thought Ian Sterling had a couple of little funny one-liners tonight, actually. He seemed a little bit back on form. There was a couple of bits that made me chuckle. But it's still the fact that when she says, and 50 grand is 50 grand, to me, anyone, that's a lot of money. But on these shows, in the context of, we've just watched Britain's Got Talent. Well, I didn't watch it. I saw the last bit, which was a fucking awful show. But they got 250 grand. They get 50 grand, and I was like, they've got 50 grand. What a bit. And it is a lot of money, but when you do these shows, I still say that's not enough. But Dave, somebody somewhere, the Chris Phelps usual prediction, somebody's got to be a shithouse and nick the money. Please, somebody steal the money. You will be my favorite contestant of all time if you just blag the whole thing all the way through and then fuck off with the 50 grand. That will still be, it's still my dream on Love Island. So let's see where it goes. But in terms of everyone, Dave, I think when Davide came in, and you said it to me, we were chatting on our Discord, and Sam even said it to me. Sam went, do you think he's putting that accent on? Now, that would be the ultimate, Dave. If all of a sudden he's some Cockney guy from Essex or something, he's like, all right, everyone. Because some of the ways he was pronouncing it.
He's from Salford.
Salford, yeah. He's a Mancunian. But the way some of the words that he really played on the words. So I think he might be onto something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of half in jest, but he does have a really accent. I've worked with quite a few people who are from Italy, and they don't sound like that. That does sound like a comedy Italian accent, you know, real proper stereotypical. Now, maybe it's because from where he is in Italy. I don't know, but it just made me think of Judge Martin from Police Academy. Who just put on the accent to get the ladies. But I tell you what, he doesn't need to, so it makes me think he's not. He's chiseled from granite, isn't he? You know, a really good-looking bloke, and basically everyone else, all the other blokes in the villa, felt pretty inadequate when he popped in.
Yes, definitely. And I will say, Dave, I'm going to call my wife out because I'm being brave here because she's going to listen to this at some point today. But Sam, Dave, was on Bikini Watch. She was fuming. She went, why the girls' arse's got to be out? Asking me one of them sort of questions. As a man, you're thinking, I don't really want to answer this question. And she went, well, maybe it's all right for men, but I just think it's ridiculous. Why do they have to? And then all of a sudden, Davide, Dave, does a little bit of a strip, takes his top off, and I looked over and there's not much comment going on over there about Davide's. She started laughing, and I was like, "Don't you dare!" I get what she's saying because the girls literally have candy floss on, don't they? Dental floss, candy floss, candy floss. You dick, but candy floss, but dental floss is bikini. So I
make the pool swimming interesting.
There's an answer there. Let's not go down that route. But anyway, but no, she was saying like, why? And I said, well, it's just Love Island, innit? it? They're all absolutely gorgeous people, men and women, aren't they? They're all like top tier. They're the 1%ers, these people. So it is what it is, but it did make me chuckle, Dave. So I think we're going to call it Sam's Bikini Watch. I'm going to get a feedback, Dave, on each episode, what she thinks, because she wasn't happy at all.
I think how on like all these reality shows, you're not supposed to call out the fact that they're all really just there for the social media career. You're not supposed supposed to call out the hypocrisy. I think that's a ground I'm not going to step on.
Yeah. I was sat there like this going, don't look. When Sam was saying it, I was like, oh, yeah. How do I answer this? He's like that thing in the guy of Star Wars. It's a trap. You know, I was like, no.
Yeah. Admiral Akbar.
Yeah,
it's a trap.
Don't get me involved. I don't know how to respond to this without getting a punch. So no, I didn't say anything. But I think the final thing I'd say, Dave, there's a couple of things we've talked about today. Brilliant. And we've said, haven't we, we're going to try and keep the format so our old school 15, 20 minutes an episode, because obviously there wasn't a lot to unpack last night. The first episode was always a bit slow. And I'm sure if there's proper drama, our episodes will go longer. We just free flowed with it. But we have had an email, Dave. We've had our first email of the season from our good friend.
Oh, wow, already?
Yeah, Denise. So she said, welcome back in my life, boys, my boys, David. Well, anyway, first day of Love Island, it really is true that good-looking people don't have any conversation skills. I would think that would be part of the gifts of being beautiful people, that they are boring each on their day. Is it because they only know how to communicate via text and social media, but not face-to-face? Anyway, but early days, but I'm sensing this will be a good one. Laugh out loud. Denise from Brooklyn, Dave. So thank you, Denise. And and New York native, Dave. So brilliant. And Denise always emailed in last season. So it's really nice to hear from you again.
No, that's brilliant. And I think, I must admit, coming into this and I'm thinking, oh God, this is 2 months. Do I really want to watch this? But when the episode starts up, you get the music, you get the cheesy intros and everything. You get Ian Sterling doing his commentary. I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. But then when they all turn up, I'm like, oh God, I fucking hate this. So I have this equal blend of love and hate watching this. So mostly the hate is at myself for liking it. But no, it is really good to be back. And let's see who Davide picks tomorrow. Now, I've seen a few comments on social media and stuff. I mean, Davide is 27. What do you think if he picks, Gemma, who's 19? It's not great, that, is it?
No, and I think even the ages, because you talk about Davide, but Luca, and it was pointed out by our good friend Hannah on Discord, wasn't it, Dave? She said he's got a tattoo on his stomach saying 1995. Well, that would make him 27.
Yeah.
But he's saying he's 23. So there may be a significance with 95. So I don't want to speak badly if it's something that's, close to his heart, or there's some personal family thing behind it. So I'd hate to do that, as Chris Phelps usually does and puts his foot in it. But there's a few if you think, because Davide looks older than 27, Dave, but there is an 8-year swing. And I think when Gemma said, one thing that stood out for me is Gemma did say, I've not been in a relationship for a year and a half. Well, she's fucking 19. She was 17 and a bit.
Yeah.
So that's difficult. And I think obviously me and you being middle-aged these days, I hate to admit that, we've got children children. We've got kids pretty much around these age, Dave, and I'm like, oh fucking hell. So we've said it before. So I don't know about that. I don't know how that'll work and what his maturity level is, what hers are. She just seems to stand out. Gemma is really young this year, and I know Liberty and that weren't much older last season, but at the moment, I'm a bit wary of who they would put away. I agree, Dave.
Yeah, like you say, I think it's the maturity as well. You could have someone at that age who's a lot more mature, than age suggests. But she does seem like, she's still at school pretty much. She's a child, Chris. So, I think it'll be wrong, but I've got a feeling that's the way it's going for tomorrow night. I
think so as well. But anyway, Dave, top first episode, mate. I love talking to you every day. We talk enough anyway off podcast, so this is just an extension of our friendship. Whether you like it or not, you're going to speak to me a lot more in the next couple of months, Dave. So brilliant. But big thank you to everyone who sorry, mate. Big thank you to everyone who supports us. Get over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast if you want to support us a little bit more. If you want to email us, like Denise has done, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on social media, @CD RealityCast. So today's roll call of honour is Gillian, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Noreen, Joanna, Katie, Dee, Hannah, Priscilla, Susan, Lucky Lulu Green, and Lauren. So thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate all your support. Really good. And we're off, Dave. Whatever happens, we're in now. That's it. It's Love Island or bust.
Awesome. Now, Chris, hot off the press, but Joe has sent through an email. Sorry, a voicemail. So I have not opened this. I have no idea what it says.
Oh, it's so good to have you boys back in my life. I just wanted to say hi. Just caught up on the preview episode and already got a bone to pick with you, of course. you two pretending that you don't just want a replacement mother in your life. Whatever. Cook for me, clean for me. I've just got home from work. I'm going to sit down and wait for you to bring me a cup of tea. I know what you all want. Already excited about this episode. Already playing my own game, which is how many episodes in before Gemma name drops her dad. Play along with me, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great series, guys.
Awesome. No,
how
to be fair, Chris, I think you do all the cooking and cleaning and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And Sam's going to listen to this and go mad. Yeah, I do. Now, there is a story behind that. I finish a lot earlier than Sam, so it wouldn't be right if I'm sat there all day like a cliche bloke and did have. So I do all the cooking, cleaning, ironing. You know what I mean, Dave? I look after my queen because at the end of the day, I'm scared of her, Dave, and it makes my life easier. But there you go.
So, when do you think Gemma will name drop her dad? And I must admit, I thought it was going to be episode 1.
I think this one. I think at some point they may end up leaning into it, Dave, with a game. They may ask like some daft question like, "Have you got a famous sibling?" You know, something like that. There'll be something obvious because the Danny Dyer thing played out when his daughter Danny Dyer, she was on it. They didn't say it straight away, and I think within the second episode it came out, and that was it. Then everyone wanted to meet a dad, sort of thing. So I'm not saying everyone wants to meet Michael Owen because he's not in that league, but I think there may be something where they lean into it because it'll be a nice little talking point for a while.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, good to speak to you again. Was there anything else before we clock off?
Nope, I'm all done for today, Dave. I think we've just hit the 20-minute mark, and that's perfect for the first recording. So we'll see about tomorrow's.
Yeah. This is guerrilla recording. Right. All right, mate. It's been great to speak to you. And we'll speak to you maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Let's see. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.